Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be reacting to 6 most disturbing stalkers caught on camera. And this is a video right here. Let's get straight into it.
Echoes call from hollow halls, still
From Devon County. Lorraine Cox was a 32-year-old woman from Devon County in England. She lived in this beautiful southwest county with her family and friends until 2018, when she met Elise Fallow. They developed a connection, but there was a problem. Elise lived in Scotland. However, they found a way to make it work. Lorraine and Elise had planned their future together, the wedding, how to have kids, and everything else.
Damn, bro.
Then came the pandemic. Unsure of how long the lockdowns were going to be, Lorraine packed her bags and moved to Scotland to live with the love of her life. Everything was fine, and the two got engaged. September 2020, lockdowns were being relaxed, and Lorraine decided to go see her family and old friends in Devon again. One particular person, her dad Tony, had missed her so much and always urged her to come see them. When Lorraine got back, she met with friends and they hung out when they could. On one such occasion, on September 1st, 2020, they all met in a local bar, had a few drinks, and called it a night. Lorraine was supposed to sleep at a friend's house, but she changed her mind and opted to walk about 2 miles to her dad's house. What they did not know was that someone was lying in wait for her. The evening went by, and no one suspected a thing. Friends thought she went to her dad's or her own home. Her dad expected her to be home or with one of her friends. But something felt off. Lorraine, who was always happy to speak, wasn't picking up anyone's call. Then she shocked all her friends again with a Facebook post. Lorraine announced that she was moving to Plymouth and updated her location. This was surprising as she never mentioned something like it to anyone. Her plans were not particularly hidden from her close ones, and this new update did not make any sense. While she avoided calls, she continued chatting with her dad and friends, who mentioned that the texts did not sound like her, even though she used the words she'd typically use. Unable to take the mystery any longer, Lorraine's dad visited her house on September 3rd. He was stunned to find out that Lorraine wasn't there. Lorraine had type 1 diabetes and relied on a kit and insulin pills. The pills and kit were intact. This set off all types of alarm bells, and the father quickly contacted the police to report Lorraine missing.
I just find it so creepy, like someone texting your phone, and then you realize like the text sounded like off in some way, and you're like, hold on a second, this isn't them. And you don't want to confront them. You're just like, haha, okay. But you know that it's not them. That's just another level of scary, bro.
Everyone became worried and began searching for her. The last time anyone saw her was at the local bar, and it was where the police started their investigation from. They interrogated people around and checked CCTV footage between the place and her house. The first few surveillance footage they checked showed Lorraine walking towards her dad's house.
But there's someone else. Bro, it's even scarier because you know that they're missing or dead. Who knows? They're missing or they're dead. And you're just watching like a a video of them just walking. It's just even creepier, bro. I don't know. It's just disturbing. I mean, it says it in the title. Okay, so she's walking home from the bar. Someone else behind her. I literally see them in this window right here. Watching her right across here. Yep.
But she didn't head straight to her dad, as the videos reveal. She changed direction briefly to a kebab restaurant, but this didn't raise any flags. It was still a normal thing to do. A separate footage showed a man walking out of the kebab building a couple of minutes past 2 in the morning. The first big break came when investigators noticed someone walking behind Lorraine.
Bro, he's like keeping like a distance. Man, anytime that I'm outside, I always look back. Even if there's no one, I still look back. I'm always paranoid, bro. I guess that's what you have to be. Better be ready than sorry, I guess. But his music is so like eerie and like disturbing. Okay, so she went into that kebab store and this guy is coming up now.
He kept his distance for a while as he followed her, and a close-up showed that it was the man who walked out of the kebab building.
Oh, so he walked out of the kebab building. Okay, now he's getting pretty close. Hoodie on, hands inside of pockets. Yeah, bro, what the fuck?
After some time, Lorraine noticed the man behind her and said something to him before moving to the other side of the road.
She's probably like, what are you doing? What do you want? Oh my god, bro. This is just disturbing watching this, like the footage.
He finally walks up to Lorraine, and the two appear to say something to each other. After the encounter, they can be seen walking closely together. It is not clear if she was walking willingly or not.
Oh hell no, bro. Some people might be like, oh, she's probably cheating with the guy, but who knows? Maybe he was like, opened his jacket up like this and is like, showed a gun, and it's like, you're gonna walk with me. Like, what do you do at that point, bro? Like, you have to walk with him. Or like a knife. I don't know. Yeah, he probably has it like a gunpoint or something. I don't know, man. It's just sad. Yeah, she does not want to walk.
They headed back to the kebab building and made a turn inside.
Oh, hell.
While other videos showed the man leaving, Lorraine was never seen leaving. The police had their first suspect, and they quickly began searching for him. When contacted, the owner of the kebab
So they went to the kebab shop. That was probably like a human trafficking kebab shop. It was like, I mean, it's probably advertised as a kebab shop, but in reality, it's like something deeper, if you guys know what I mean. I don't know.
shop disclosed that the man lived inside the building where the kebab shop was located, an apartment above his restaurant, but he didn't know his name. Police visited the apartment and found a man who identified himself as Christopher Myers. Everything seemed in place, and he even brought out an ID. However, when they showed him the footage, he denied being the man in the footage and having ever seen Lorraine. That was the first red flag. Christopher added that he was gay and wouldn't allow a woman in her apartment. When the police checked his phone, they discovered that Lorraine's SIM card had been inserted. He was arrested, and the police began searching for more evidence. The next day, when police arrived and started combing the place, they found loads of evidence. First, they discovered that Christopher's real name is Azam Mangori, and he's an Iraqi gay man who stayed in the UK even though his asylum application was rejected.
That was her.
Lorraine's SIM card, bank card, and driver's license were all found in Azam's house. They also found Lorraine's backpack and phones around the exact location. At the back of the building was a garbage area where police found dismembered limbs.
Yeah. Oh my god. I literally called it. Bro. Like, it's a kebab shop, but they fucking get rid of people in it. So they found dismembered limbs. They just cut her up, bro. That's fucked. Some fucking sick people in the world, bro. I don't know what that close-up is. Is that a piece of her limbs or something? Shit, bro.
Sadly, the discovered body parts matched Lorraine's. Azam was charged to court for the murder of Lorraine Cox. During interrogation and trial, he gave many conflicting stories, as well as others that didn't match anything that was known about Lorraine. For instance, he said they had intercourse and that Lorraine brought out a black substance that made him dizzy. Azam added that the substance messed with him, and he saw spiders come out of Lorraine's mouth. He said he stuffed a cloth into her mouth to stop the spiders and that he thought it was wet tobacco as he dismembered Lorraine. Examination showed that Lorraine's system was free of any foreign substance, and surveillance footage showed that Azam was calm. He was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 20 years before parole. Azam Mangori stalked and tricked his victim before he committed a heinous crime. He was caught thanks to CCTV cameras, but in the following case, the perpetrator went an extra mile to cover their tracks. Before we go any further, I just want to ask you for a small favor. If you're enjoying the
Bro, I wouldn't even give him like parole date. I would just be like life in prison. You're never getting out. Like, the fuck? Let's see this one. Oh my god, what is this?
Brynja Brjánsdóttir was a 20-year-old woman who lived in the Icelandic capital, Reykjavik. She worked as a sales assistant in a fashion shop and lived with her father in Breitholt. People described her as kind, bright, and outgoing. Brynja loved music and wouldn't miss an opportunity to go have fun at the bars and nightclubs around her, especially on Friday nights. On January 13, 2017, Brynja had a stressful day at work and decided to unwind with friends at a local bar. After some time, they went over to Hura. The club is located in the city center and offers an experience unlike any other club around. Many prefer the club because of its live music from famous bands. As the night went on, the club and its music continued to deliver. It was precisely what Birna needed after a long day at work. At 2 a.m., everyone agreed to leave since they had had enough. But Birna wanted a bit more dancing. She was the only one who stayed back as her friends found their separate ways home. By 5 o'clock in the morning, the club was closing for the day, which meant everyone else had to leave, including Birna. On her way home, she passed through the main shopping street.
The sad truth is, if you're a guy, you could stay by yourself and, you know, you could party. But if you're a woman, like, at least have some friends with you. Like, that's just a sad truth, because you're gonna have like weird people try to do shit to you. But if you're a guy, you know, no one does really anything to you. Like, you could just be passed out, you could be super drunk, and you'll be fine. Yeah, it's just sad how people do weird shit, bro.
Street and grabbed a falafel pita. This was not the first time she walked alone in the streets, and she certainly wasn't the first person to do so. But this morning was different. A monster was hiding in the shadows.
Oh no. Don't tell me she gets pulled in the alleyway, please.
The CCTV footage from that morning showed Birna eating her falafel pita as she walked. She still had the clothes she wore from the previous evening, which were perfect for the -9 cross weather. A black hoodie, gray jumper, jean trousers, and Doc Martens boots. Videos also showed that Birna was drunk, as she occasionally bumped into strangers and dropped objects.
Bro, I would not leave my friend and just go home, you know? I would like try to convince them to go, or him or her to go, like with us, you know? Like to a house and be like, yeah, we could just drink at the house.
Around 25 minutes past 5, Birna Brøsendottir suddenly vanished. She would no longer be captured by any of the CCTV cameras, and no one saw her alive after that moment.
God, that's just disturbing, bro.
Birna worked with one of her long-term friends, Maria. They became friends in primary school and ended up working at the same place. The night before, Maria did not join them for the trip to the club, but probably knew about it. So, when Birna did not show up for work that Saturday morning, she immediately called her line. Birna was not the type to stay away from work or come late without prior information. However, when Maria called her, it was another strange development. Birna's line wouldn't connect, and this had never happened before. Maria called one of the friends she went out with, but she too had not heard from Birna since they left her at the club. They called Birna's mom and dad. It was the same worrying news. No one had heard from her. Her mom reported the incident to the police, who quickly got to work. After information from friends and family, they started combing the CCTV cameras around the nightclub for any detail that could lead them to her location. They saw as Birna walked through the streets, but nothing seemed out of place. When analyzing her mobile phone GPS, they noticed that her line connected to the network at Hafnarfjörður, a small industrial town 6 miles off Reykjavik. Birna's mother and people close to her traveled to her last known location. They were joined by people from Hafnarfjörður, and they all began searching for her, putting up posters and calling out, counting on the spirit of togetherness of the Icelandic people. Her mother also turned to social media, encouraging anyone with new information to come forward. Within a short while, the case had gained widespread attention all over the country, and everyone was willing to do their part. It was one of the biggest cases to have happened in Iceland, so the police assigned it to one of their best investigators, Detective Grimur Grimson. Grimur has had a rich career spanning over 30 years. He has investigated and been in charge of various crimes, from petty cases to high-profile ones. He returned to join the police in Reykjavik after missing the action. To Grimur and his colleagues, the surveillance footage held more meaning. While everything seemed normal, they noticed something strange. A red Kia Rio vehicle appeared in the footage alongside Birna. It drove in the opposite direction. Despite trying their hardest, they couldn't make out the license plates on the car. The quality of the footage was too poor. When they checked the country's database for cars matching the description, there were over 100. On January 16, 2017, two brothers decided to carry out another search in Hafnarfjörður. This time, they search around the harbor close to the last cell reception from Birna's phone. As they walked towards the harbor, they discovered Doc Martens boots matching Birna's. They posted their find on social media, and they were confirmed to be Birna's shoes. So Birna's phone and shoes have been linked to Hafnarfjordur. The next link would be the red car. Police were looking
I
into
don't see the
extra
red
footage
car.
around Hafnarfjordur when they saw the red car close to the harbor. The car was parked on Saturday
Oh,
morning,
never
not
mind.
far away from a fishing trawler called the Polar Nanoquake. The footage showed a man leaving the car from the passenger seat and walking to the Polar Nanoquake. The car drove off, but this time the car's license plate numbers could be seen. It belonged to a rental company, and on communication with the company, police learned that it had been rented by another family, who complained of a strange smell from the car's back seat.
Oh no.
At the time when Birna went missing, it was rented to Thomas Muller Olsen, a Greenlandic man who worked on the Polar Nanoque.
Definitely.
The car appeared to have been roughly cleaned up, and police found traces of Birna's blood inside.
Yeah.
Its underside also showed damage. Thomas's information got out, but this time, he was already on the ship in Greenland waters. When the ship's captain saw the news, he turned around and announced to the crew that they had an engine problem. He also had the
smart,
ship's
smart.
Wi-Fi turned off, so Thomas
Engine
did not
problem.
learn about developments in the case. As they got close to Iceland, the
Engine
special
problem.
police unit called the Viking Squad was waiting. They landed on the ship from a helicopter to arrest Thomas and his friend Nick.
Oh my god. That's actually smart. Engine problem. That we need to pull over. We got an engine problem. And he had no idea. And then boom, police is waiting for him.
Nikolai, who got out of the vehicle at the harbor. Investigations revealed that the two men went to drink on the night, but Nikolai drank too much. Around 5 a.m., they picked Birna and another woman and drove towards the harbor where Nikolai got off. Thomas said he had made out with the two women and dropped them off. Police found scratches that suggested a struggle on Thomas, and surveillance footage showed him buying cleaning products. They found Birna's driver's license on the ship, and everything pointed towards Thomas. On January 22, 2017, a Coast Guard helicopter spotted something along the coast of Reykjanes near Selvogsfjordur lighthouse. It was Birna's body. Autopsy revealed that she suffered physical assault, but that she died from drowning. More forensic evidence linked Thomas to Birna's death. His DNA and fingerprints were found on her boots and driver's license. Thomas was found guilty and sentenced to 19 years in prison. Police were able to piece Thomas's cruel actions together, but what happens when a policeman who's supposed to investigate crimes is discovered to be the one responsible? March 3, 2021, 33-year-old Sarah Everard visited her friend in Clapham Common, a large urban park in Clapham, when a policeman.
That was a weird cut.
March 3, 2021, 33-year-old Sarah Everard visited her friend in Clapham Common, a large urban park in Clapham, South London, England. She lived in Brixton Hill and was on her way home in the evening, some minutes past 9, when her phone rang. It was her boyfriend. The pair spoke for 15 minutes as she continued walking.
Okay. But these like footage cameras are so like creepy, bro, disturbing. It would be more disturbing if there was audio to it that you can hear like the bad quality in it.
Born in Surrey, England, in 1987, Sarah Everard grew up in York and studied human geography at St Cuthbert's Society, Durham University between 2005 and 2008. Then she joined a digital media agency in Holborn, London, where she worked as a marketing executive, starting from February 2021. Before that, she worked with other marketing agencies and public relations companies. She was a smart woman and people liked her a lot. A month after starting her new job, she went to hang out with friends and went missing on her way home. Her boyfriend said they agreed to meet the next day, but she never showed up. After asking around with no positive news, a missing person report was filed on the 4th, but things remained relatively quiet until the 5th of March. Sarah's loved ones made posters, but nothing happened. As for the specialist crime unit of the police, they began looking at her route for any clues. The leading detective, Inspector Catherine Goodwin, said they collected statements from 750 people who might have seen or even been in contact with her. They put out a number for anyone with helpful information and received over 100 calls on the 5th of March. The police also reviewed CCTV videos from the areas, but they needed more. They appealed to the public to share footage from dash cams, surveillance cameras, and doorbell cameras.
Oh wow.
This proved to be a
people
wise
helped.
move. A bus that drove past Pointers Road submitted footage that captured Sarah in a green jacket. The video showed her talking to an individual close to a parked white Vauxhall Astra with the hazard lights on.
What were they
Other
talking
people
about?
living along her route shared footage from their doorbells, but none of their cameras captured her walking through. It was evident now that Sarah had never made it past the location where she had been seen talking to someone. A witness also approached the police. They said they saw Sarah talking with a man who arrested her and led her into the car after they finished talking. Luckily, the license plates on the car could be seen in one of the videos. Police investigations showed that it belonged to a rental company all the way from Dover. The rental company supplied the name of the hirer as Wayne Cousins. Wayne was a police officer and Metropolitan Police Constable who was off duty at the time he was seen with Sarah. The police picked up Wayne for interrogation. Constable who was off duty at the time he was seen with Sarah.
She walks her and stays until 9 p.m. On her way home, she calls her brother.
The police picked up Wayne for interrogation. Born in Dover, Kent in 1972, Wayne was denied an opportunity to join the police on 3 different occasions from 2002 to 2006. At this time, he served as a private with the Territorial Army before he was discharged in 2007 when he couldn't fulfill training obligations. However, Wayne was employed as a special constable with Kent Police the year before. In 2010, the father of 2 was recruited into the Civil Nuclear Constabulary, and he resigned from Kent Police in 2011 after becoming an authorized firearms officer. He got a transfer to the Metropolitan Police in 2018 and was assigned to the Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protection Branch. Surprisingly, Wayne did not go through any enhanced vetting process or the mandatory 2-year probation period. Wayne had simply slipped through, and this oversight would prove costly. On the day he was seen with Sarah, he had just finished a 12-hour shift guarding a diplomatic building. Over the years, Wayne had been caught exposing himself indecently, and the most recent one was 3 days before he met Sarah in London. Wayne booked the white Vauxhall car on 28 February with his personal details. He bought a self-adhesive carpet protector and a handcuff key on Amazon. After guarding the US Embassy in London for 12 hours, he went to pick up his rental car in Kent around 7 p.m. and drove back to London. Surveillance video showed him traveling through Earl's Court and Battersea Bridge. When he arrived in Clapham, he took another ride to Earl's Court before coming back to Clapham some minutes past 9. At the time of his arrival, Sarah was on the call with her boyfriend. About 5 minutes later, he had stopped Sarah and arrested
Oh, that was him.
Sarah and arrested her, falsely accusing her of breaking COVID guidelines. He took another long drive back to Kent with Sarah handcuffed at the back of the car.
Oh my God.
There, he switched to his own seat and drove for a while before r***ing her. He strangled her to death with what
What? Oh my God, bro. Imagine using your job, like your authority or power to just do that to someone because you feel like, oh, the fuck is wrong with people, bro? That's
police believed to be his police issue belt. Wayne drove to Hodes Wood near Ashford and dumped Sarah's body before returning the rental car and buying coffee around 8 in the morning.
So after that, he just buys coffee. What causes someone to do this, bro? Honestly. If you guys
On the
know,
5th, he bought petrol and returned to Hodes Wood to burn Sarah's body.
you know that saying that says you walk by like 30 murderers in a lifetime? Yeah. That's true. It's always been true. Maybe even more nowadays, who knows?
Wayne also bought large builder's bags and used one to dispose of Sarah's remains into a pond.
Bro, look how he just casually just shops. Acts like a normal citizen. Like, yeah, I'm just buying this. Thank you. Have a good day.
Police in Dover found the remains, and it was identified as Sarah through dental records. June 8 and July 9, 2021, Wayne pleaded guilty to the kidnap, rape, and murder of Sarah Everard. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. The next case is about an individual with a more disturbing pattern of stalking multiple people and bringing harm to them. 18-year-old Hannah Elizabeth Graham was a second-year student at the University of Virginia. On September 12, 2014, She agreed to join her friends at a party in Charlottesville, Virginia's Fig restaurant. She left home at 9:30 p.m., and by 10:48 p.m., they were at the restaurant having a good time, but she had to attend a party at Camden Plaza. She mentioned at one point that she wasn't feeling well to a friend who offered to walk her home, but Hannah declined the offer. Perhaps wanting to have some more fun by herself, Hannah headed in the opposite direction from her house towards the Tempo restaurant in Charlottesville. CCTV cameras captured Hannah walking to the mall where the Tempo restaurant was located.
Is that her?
It was now the morning of September 13th, 2014. Around 1 a.m., the drinks had kicked in and Hannah was not able to navigate the routes by herself. She ended up getting lost. By 1:20 a.m. on September 12th, she had her last exchange of texts with friends, telling them that she was lost.
He's running now.
After that, none of her family and friends saw her again, but where might she have gone? Hannah is the daughter and one of 2 children of Sue and John. They moved to the U.S. when Hannah was just 5, and the family lived in Fairfax County's Stratford Landing area in West Virginia. Hannah never missed an opportunity to live her life. She enjoyed music and sports and was a happy person. On the day she went missing, a man, Jesse Leroy Matthew Jr., was walking around Virginia. Matthew, an operating room technician and part-time taxi driver, went to have drinks at the Lazy Parrot restaurant, but when he left, he started roaming the area, making rude remarks to women. Some women later told the police that Matthew made some shocking advances at them when their paths crossed. Matthew's family didn't have much growing up. He stuttered as a kid, had difficulty learning, and was bullied at school. His father had a drinking problem, was absent, and Matthew himself alleged being assaulted as a kid. He managed to turn things around, earning himself a football scholarship to Liberty University, but his darker side kept showing up. In 2002, he was accused of raping a female student, and the same thing happened the following year when he was a student at Christopher Newport University. He left school and became a taxi driver. In 2005, a woman was physically and sexually assaulted in Charlottesville, Virginia. While the police were able to recover DNA samples from the scene, they couldn't match them to anybody in their database. As Matthew continued without a destination on September 13th, he came across Hannah and walked on. However, he turned back towards her, perhaps realizing the intoxicated state she was in. Hannah continued walking, unaware of her surroundings, when Matthew got close and put an arm around her. They went to the Tempo restaurant, and Matthew got 2 drinks. The next day, September 14th, 2014, her friends had still not heard from her. They knew she wouldn't have wandered off without telling anyone, so they filed a missing person complaint. Since this wasn't the first case of a missing person in the area, the police quickly got to work, collecting surveillance footage to trace her steps. Support poured in from members of the community and her schoolmates. Many of them formed search parties trying to locate her. It didn't take long before police saw how she moved and who she was with. On September 19, an arrest warrant was put out for Jesse Matthew. Then began a collection of evidence pointing towards Matthew. Police found a cell phone and men's shorts with DNA from both Matthew and Hannah. They also had sperm from Matthew. Matthew's passenger side door had Hannah's DNA, while her scent was also found on the car, Matthew's apartment entrance, and a dumpster around his house. Investigators combed through Matthew's apartment and left with items like shorts, phone, comb, towels, beddings, and a shirt. On 20th September, Matthew went to the Charlottesville Police Department and asked for a lawyer before leaving abruptly in a car. Police followed him, but couldn't catch up, so they put out a wanted poster for him. 4 days later, a passerby spotted him living in a tent on a Texas beach. Police said he obtained a new driver's license and withdrew most of the money from his bank account. He was arrested and transferred to Charlottesville. On October 18, 2014, the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office found human remains in an abandoned building in Albemarle County. The remains would later be identified as Hannah. As the investigation proceeded, it was discovered that Matthew's sample matched the one from the 2009 murder of Morgan Dana Harrington. He was found guilty of both murders and received multiple life sentences. In the next case, you'll see how a man got more chances than he should have gotten, leading to a tragedy that never should have happened. Zara Elena started working at the Royal Courts of Justice in Westminster, London, in May 2022. 5 weeks later, she became a victim of one of the people she vowed to fight against. In 1968, Zara's grandparents moved to Ilford, East London, from Pakistan. Zara was born in 1986 as the first child of her parents, and she enjoyed the care of the whole family. While she decided to become a lawyer at a very young age, she participated in different activities, including ice skating and ballet dancing.
Okay.
Zara worked very hard and eventually reached her goal of becoming a lawyer. She was often seen helping refugees in different ways, whether directly or by contributing to causes dedicated to them. By 2022, she was through with her legal practice course and was finally ready to become a solicitor. That was when she joined the Royal Courts of Justice for her 2-year work placement. On June 26, 2022, Zara and a friend agreed to meet at the Great Spoon of Ilford, a local pub, for dinner and some drinks. They also visited another bar for more drinks, but reports said Zara requested only water. As the night matured, it was time to leave for home. Meanwhile, someone else was roaming the streets. His name is Jordan McSweeney, a man who attracted all forms of trouble to himself. He loved getting into fights, and people who knew him generally avoided him. He was the complete opposite of Zara. At the age of 29, Jordan had already committed 69 crimes and had been convicted 28 times. At 29, Jordan convicted of road offenses, racism, battery, and even assaulting a police officer. Reports said he was assaulted as a child, which may have contributed to how he turned out, but he still had opportunities to do better for himself. Instead, he embraced violence as a teenager, and when he became an adult, prison was no longer a big deal to him. June 17, 2022. Jordan got out of prison on license after he had been jailed for robbery. When he got out, he lived with a friend in his caravan located in one of Ilford's fun parks. He was supposed to see his probation officer from time to time, but he often never showed up to any of the appointments. As a result, his license was revoked. Even though he was supposed to be arrested for failing to comply with the condition of his release, this did not happen. 2 days after his license was revoked, Jordan was seen walking around Ilford, trying as much as possible to be a nuisance to everyone. He visited the Great Spoon of Ilford on the 26th and annoyed the women present. He was kicked out of the place after harassing a staff member. He journeyed north towards Cranbrook Road and paid no attention to traffic. Minutes later, he had found another victim. He followed a woman who noticed him and ran into a shop. Jordan waited for and ran after her as she escaped.
Minutes after midnight, having been kicked out of a bar in Ilford, Jordan McSweeney began hunting for a victim. He sticks close by to this woman, who notices and runs into a shop to try to evade him. He follows her,
That's just annoying, bro.
but then decides to wait round the corner. She cautiously exits.
Jordan continued walking and pestering women for a whole hour. By 1:56 a.m., he followed another woman who was lucky to have gotten to her destination before he could do anything to her. Zara was leaving a bar on Chapel Road at this time. She waved her friend goodbye and walked towards her home. Unfortunately, Jordan saw and followed her. Jordan caught up with her at a house on Cranbrook Road. He brutally assaulted her physically and sexually. Jordan took some of her belongings and walked home quietly. When 4 strangers found Zara fighting for her life, they called an ambulance, and she was treated. But her injuries were fatal, and she passed away shortly after. The outrage that Zara's death generated was massive. Many people sent their condolences and placed flowers around her murder site. A camera captured Jordan the next morning, when he went to dispose of his shirt. However, he had attacked Zara with a balustrade that had his fingerprints. On June 27th, he was arrested by the police. His assault was recorded on a neighbor's camera, and the police found his blood-stained shirt and shoes. Jordan claimed he had some mental issues and had been bitten by a dog. He continued being a nuisance at the police station, yawning and telling officers to stop boring him when asked questions. In court, he pleaded guilty to the assault and murder, but refused to show up for his sentencing. He was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 38 years. For our final case, we have a man who stalked her former girlfriend for 130 miles before striking in the most brutal manner. Anna Jedrzejkowiak was born in Poland, but she loved exploring other brutal manner. and who stalked her former girlfriend for Poland. But she loved exploring other cultures and countries. She had a dream of learning Japanese and living in the country. She also loved music and played multiple instruments. In 2019, Anna traveled to...
I knew one of these was gonna come up. Yeah, if a girl tells you that it's done, you just gotta say, it's done, just move on. If she gives you bad signs and she's talking to other people, just move on. If she gives you the cold shoulder multiple times, just move on. You know, you're not gonna sit there. Just find someone else.
Bristol in the UK, where she worked for a while. For a year, Anna was in a relationship with 30-year-old Dennis Akpomedaye, whom she met online. When they finally knew each other, Anna discovered that Dennis could be frightening, violent, and displayed all forms of disturbing behaviors, such as threatening to harm himself if Anna left him alone.
What?
Anna finally found a way out when she was admitted to study sound engineering at the University of West London. She informed Dennis of the new development, ended the relationship, and urged Dennis to move on with someone else. Dennis tried manipulating Anna again, saying he'd harm himself, but this did not work. Anna was done with him. Anna traveled to London and moved on very quickly. She got a part-time job as a bartender at a Mexican coffee shop called Las Iguanas. This was where he met her new boyfriend, Jack. The two worked together and enjoyed each other's company. On the 16th of May, 2022, Anna and Jack finished their shift.
I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sucks that she's like, okay, I got a job, I'm gonna move here. That just means that she didn't really like him, because if she really did like him and she saw a future with him, she would be like, let's move to London, you and me. I got a new job, I'm studying sound engineering. Let's move to London together and start a new life. Boom. But she didn't like him anymore, and I feel like she used that as an excuse, like, just to leave him. Like, she was probably done with him. He probably did weird shit, so she was probably like, I need an excuse. Okay, okay, good, I got this job, time to leave him.
30 minutes before midnight and went towards Anna's place.
Wait, hold on.
And went towards 2022. Anna and Jack finished their shift 30 minutes before midnight and went towards Anna's place.
But don't tell me he appears in London, bro. Any second now he's gonna walk, right? What? Oh, hell no.
It was about a 30-minute walk, and they decided to chat on the way, unaware that a monster was quietly following them. Dennis had traveled 130 miles to stalk Anna. As Jack and Anna turned towards Robert's alley, Dennis put on a mask and hid his face under his hoodie. Suddenly, he pushed Jack away and grabbed Anna. Undeterred by his boyfriend's presence, he started stabbing her in the neck. He was too powerful for Jack, so he ran to call for help. Before he could return with any help, Dennis had caught Anna more than 40 times on her neck and head. It was the most gruesome murder ever. Anna died immediately. Dennis quickly ran away, leaving a blood trail that led the police to a pond in Gunnersbury Park. The police found the weapon and Anna's picture with Dennis inside the pond.
The weapon was found in Round Pond in Gunnersbury Park on the 18th of May. Also found in the pond were items including 2 mobile...
Imagine you just meet some girl. That guy probably thought, you know, he was set for life. Imagine you meet a girl and her ex just comes, travels. You have no idea it's her ex. You just see some guy and he never got the backstory. He probably never got the backstory. He's probably like some random guy just stabbed my girlfriend. That's it. And he never knew that it was the ex or anything until the story came out. Who knows?
Phones belonging to Anna.
When the two dated, Anna often called the police to check on Dennis after threatening to harm himself, but the police thought he was just trying to make Anna stick around. But when she finally decided to leave, Dennis vowed to find her. As he escaped after his horrendous act, police tracked him down using CCTV cameras. They were able to find and arrest him at Victoria Coach Station less than a day after his crime.
Look at how he's walking around, bro.
Surveillance videos
Covering
also helped him to
everything?
see how he stalked the victim. He arrived in London by coach from Newport a day before the attack. Then he boarded a tube to Ealing and started tracking Anna. He went to
That's
Anna's
them,
workplace
the
before she
boyfriend and the
arrived
girlfriend.
and also visited her home. The next day, he bought a knife at a local shop and hung around Anna's workplace before he saw her walking home with Jack. Dennis was charged with on the 18th of May and went on trial on the 25th. He refused to speak to the police or attend his trial. He was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 29 years. Our hearts go out to the family and friends of the victims. No words can begin to describe what they must have felt at the news of their beloved ones losing their lives in this manner. We'll continue to expose these horrific crimes, and we hope that it helps to draw more attention to the cases, helps people to be more careful, and reduces the rate of crimes around the world. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for a more in-depth look into cases like these. I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.
Alright, well that's the whole video. Like, subscribe guys. Comment if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.